All right, so I made it out. It's the July 4th, so I have the day off. I had a free morning, a little cooler out, and I'm walking into where I was gonna sit down and chill out. Sorry, the sun's behind me, and I'm kind of in the same. I'm on the same path that I kind of came up for my idea for realistic survival stuff, and I'm thinking about resources. I picked up this stick. I'm going to do a video using it, and right now it's a handy walking stick. So I took it from Deadfall. It was up off the ground. It was like a three-prong deal. So there was a limb sticking up off the ground. As you can see, the sun is coming in behind me, so it gets sun rays. It's perfectly dry. It's a branch that broke off a tree. And I chopped it with my knife. I chopped it about halfway through, then just snapped it off. And it is a solid piece of wood. It's not rotten inside or anything like that. So when they say dead standing, that's what they mean, not rotten. Now you might find something that maybe has like an outer layer of punk wood where the bark has rotted and then cause that outer layer, but the heartwood's still good. So that is a resource into itself, because you can char a lot of punk wood, and you can then burn that still solid core. But I'm walking along, and I'm thinking of resources that I can carry or pick up on my way in. So I'm not too worried about tinder. I have plenty of tinder sources on me right now. I have natural tinder that I've collected and keep stockpiled. I have fat wood. I have a couple pieces of fat wood, and I have trioxane fuel cells. But say something were to happen to me along the way, by knowing my environment, and I'm still learning my environment, but by knowing some basics, like this pine tree right here. This pine tree is a good source of several materials. Pine needle tea, pine cones, pitch, fat wood. If there's one pine tree, there might be another one around here that's fallen, and I might be able to get into a limb or the crotch of where the limb meets the trunk and find a source of fat wood. These big pieces of bark here can pull off, and those make really good, like if you've got your gear spread out, you can collect little pieces on there. Like if you had to, say sew a button back on, it's a tray. You can set it down and put your, sewing needle and stuff on it and not lose it in the forest floor. The other use for these, you got to know what you're allergic to and what you're not allergic to, because this would scare my wife to death because she's allergic to pine. But if you peel this bark down to the inner layer, the white inner bark is edible. So you can add that to a stew and stuff like that. And it's not bad straight, but know your resources. Know your resources, and because realistically they could come in handy. If something were to happen, you walked in and you get hit by a thunderstorm, you might have a high water issue, and you might be stuck for a while. So knowing what's around you, is a big bonus. And collecting it. If you see a resource that might come in handy and you've got room in your kit, throw it in there. Like that. This is a handy piece of gear. It's solid. I mean, I can use that to beat something with, like brush. I'm not talking about, hitting an animal or something. I'm talking about, you could, but, like that, you've got a bunch of overgrown stuff. I used to clear trails with big clubs like this. I'm noting sassafras. I noticed that there's a ironwood tree it's got like 5 different names, but musclewood, Missouri ironwood, whatever. There's one of them growing over there that would actually make a really good bow. And it's kind of an oddity because usually they grow down by the creeks. So anyways, but know a few resources, at least a few. Even if it's like, oh, I can eat dandelion. Yeah, you can eat dandelion. The whole plant's edible. And it's got medicinal properties. So, know just a couple of basics, especially stuff that's like real common like that. Dandelions grow in your backyard, or they bust up your sidewalks. Know some of that stuff. Because realistically, it might, uh, you know, come in handy in a pinch.